All right, we'll go ahead and jump right in today. So my name is Mackenzie and I am with SCORE, and welcome to our Tuesdays at 2 webinar series with today's series of Define Your Organization with a Mission Statement with David Jarkins. So a few things about today's workshop. Charlie and I are here to help you today. So if you have questions, feel free to private message us and ask, or if you have questions for our panelists today, just put it in the chat and we'll ask all of those at the end. Our webinar will last about an hour. And then throughout the presentation, just feel free to put those Q&A questions into the chat. All registrants will receive an email within about a week of the event that includes a recording of the event and handouts if we have any, which I don't believe we do today. And attendees will also receive an evaluation email from SCORE, and please fill that out. We use that for funding, and we use that for feedback on how you like our workshops and what types of topics you would like to see as a workshop. SCORE for the life of your business. SCORE provides mentoring and resources to support you from idea to exit. So how can SCORE help you? We help small businesses and nonprofits by providing free advice and mentoring. We offer low cost or no cost business training. And we also have a huge database of free business templates and resources at score.org. A couple of the upcoming workshops we have are Becoming Your Brand Ambassador Through Social Media with Joe Everest, who's with Ozark Fence, and that will be July 12th at 2 p.m. and it will be an all virtual session like this one. The other one will be Common Legal Issues Small Businesses Face with Stephanie Cumley, and it will be a virtual HR partner or with virtual HR partner services. And that will be July 19th, and that will be at 6 p.m. at the Schweitzer Brentwood Library, and there will also be a virtual option. We also have our SCORE E3 Women's Conference coming up on September 13th and 14th. It is at the Oasis Hotel and Convention Center, and you can get more information at e3score.org. We're looking for sponsors and exhibitors, or just if you would love to come and attend. You can volunteer with SCORE. Everything we do is completely volunteer-based. We have over 10,000 volunteers nationwide who serve over 1,500 different communities. So don't wait. You can become a mentor with us today or get some assistance from us through mentoring services. You can become a SCORE volunteer at score.org/volunteer, or visit us online or call us at our phone number with any questions. And now I am going to turn it over to Charlie from the Christian County Library.
Thank you. The Christian County Library is proud to sponsor this SCORE workshop. The Christian County Library has many resources and solutions for small businesses. We can help businesses identify consumer and market trends, provide self-paced technology training, space for meetings, and free Wi-Fi and notary service at every branch. Come visit us at one of our 4 locations in Ozark, Nixa, Clever, and Sparta for your small business needs. Now on to our speaker. I've interacted with our speaker today in quite a few varied ways in our community and through the library. He's very active in the community. His current role, he says he helps business owners and CEOs have more time to work on their business rather than in, by increasing efficiency and employee participation. Today, he's going to be talking about mission statements. Please welcome David Jarkins.
Thank you very much, Charlie and Mackenzie. I appreciate that. I'm going to attempt to share my screen here. Okay, you should be seeing the title page. Is that true?
No, we don't see it yet.
Don't see it yet. Okay. I think we're getting closer now.
We can see it now.
Okay, we're sharing. Nope, that's not it. Ah.
That looks like it has it, David.
How about that one?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, great. All right. Like I said, thanks for that introduction. And I want to express my appreciation to the Christian County Library System and to the SCORE organization for giving me this opportunity to speak with you folks today. As Charlie said, the topic for our webinar today is defining your organization through a mission statement. So we're going to cover several topics about mission statements. The term mission statement and vision statement a lot of times are used interchangeably by folks. So I'm going to clearly define what a mission statement is. And we won't be talking about vision statements, but vision statements you can think of more as long-term goals for the organization, 3 to 5 years, where a mission statement is more of a description of the company organization. So we're going to talk about that, what a mission statement is. We're going to talk about why you want one, why you want to invest the time, and there is some investment in time in creating a mission statement. So we're going to talk about why you want to do that. I'm going to walk you through an example about how to create one. And then once it's written and you've got this beautiful mission statement, what do you do with it? So that's what we're going to follow up with. So first thing, what is a mission statement? If you go on the internet and do a search, you're going to see a lot of different definitions for mission statements. They're all fairly similar, stating that it's some kind of description for the organization, its purpose or goals. And you can see them here from Merriam-Webster, Indeed, and Duke University. They all basically say the same thing. But what really is a mission statement? One of the most important parts of leading a company is communication. You need to be able to communicate with potential customers, with employees, vendors, investors in some cases. And saying that a mission statement is a foundational element may sound like hyperbole. However, if you can't clearly and concisely communicate what your company does, how do you expect other people to really know what it is that your company does? And most owners want people to know what they do. So in a nutshell, it's who you are, who your customer is. You might say what your product does, what you do or how you do it, why you do it, or why your customers use it. In essence, as we've said, a mission statement is the definition of your business. It describes what your company does. It states what's unique or special about your business, depending on the company focus. It can include what you do or how you do it. It may include something about your customers. Who's the demographic, who that you're having as your customers? Who are the people that would be most attracted to it? Some of the mission statements that I've seen are as short as 2 words. That's pretty short. Most of them are 2 or 3 sentences. But your mission statement is something that you want to have as concise as possible. All right, so why do you want a mission statement? Like I said, it provides a short, concise statement that tells the world what your company is and how it's focused. It's important because it tells your customers, employees, vendors, and investors about your company. When you meet someone and they ask, what does your company do? This is the answer. This is the beginning of your elevator speech. So imagine you're at an event and you meet someone and you ask, oh, what does your company do? And they say, well, we cut grass, or we do lawn care. We provide landscaping services, that sort of thing. So now that you've heard that, you got a certain image of what that company is, what they do. So think about what you're going to say to someone when you meet them later on. You meet up with a friend and they say, oh, did you meet anyone at that networking event you went to? Oh yeah, I met someone that, owns a lawn mowing service or something like that. So think of the image that you have for that kind of company. Now think about this. What if that person, when you ask, what do you do? Instead, they say, we transform our clients' yards into a park-like setting, relieving them from weekly chores while providing a relaxing space for their family and guests. If that's their response, you've got a much different image of what that company is and what they do. And when you meet up with your friend, the story you're going to tell is going to be a lot different. When you think of that company, you've got a much different image of what it is that they do rather than just cut grass. So mission statement also helps to prevent shiny object syndrome. All right. So that's where you're constantly chasing the new and greater thing. It leverages your unique processes. So what is it that's unique to your company? And it keeps everyone focused. So for example, in this graphic here, imagine that the pins are your target market. They're your customers. They want to be bowled over, right? They want to be delighted in what you have to deliver. And imagine the ball is your team and they're heading towards your customers. Well, if they're not focused, they could get off track and miss your customers completely. So they're not going to delight the people who are most interested in your product. But if you've got those bumpers up there, it's going to keep your team focused. And while they may stray back and forth across a small area, eventually they are going to be able to delight your customers because they've stayed focused on what it is that they deliver to the customer. A mission statement can be used as a tool. It's used for measuring ideas. It anchors the owner and the team concerning basic premises of the business. It keeps you focused on that niche market that you've heard over and over again are the folks that you need to make sure you're focusing on is that niche. It helps you gauge opportunities. For instance, if you're making premium ice cream, for instance, and your team starts saying, you know, maybe we should offer frozen yogurt. Do you really want them thinking about making frozen yogurt if your target niche demographic are folks that want premium ice cream? On the other hand, if you provide rapid car maintenance and you're doing oil changes, maybe it makes sense to talk about doing tire rotations while that customer's vehicle is in one of those bays. So it can help you maybe broaden some of the opportunities that you have with your customers. It can act as a job filter for candidates, right? So you've got someone that's thinking about applying for your business. If your mission statement is written in a certain way, it may help attract or filter out some of those folks. For instance, I've heard several owners of pet sitting businesses saying that they don't want to hear from people who like dogs. That's not the person that they want to hire to do pet sitting. It also helps you connect with your customers. For instance, if your company produces pet products and your mission statement may, in that case, your mission statement may want to illustrate how your company improves the life of all pets by offering quality products and by donating to no-kill shelters. So it tells the folks that are looking at your products who you are as a business. So now that we know a little bit about what they are and why you want one, how do you go about creating a mission statement? So the first thing most folks will do is when they're starting a business and they're looking to create their mission statement, they'll go out on the internet and they'll search big companies and they'll see what their mission statements look like, and they'll try and craft something along those same lines. Well, here you can see 3 mission statements for some pretty large organizations. If I didn't have those names next to them, I doubt that you would know who that company is. And the reason is these mission statements are pretty vague. They're broadly worded and they're not very specific to what the company does. Now that you know who the company is, for instance, Walmart, that makes sense for them. For GE to rise to a challenge of building a world that works, okay, I can understand that. I don't know if you know what TED is, but spread ideas, if you know what the TED organization does, spreading ideas sums up very well what it is that they do. But for a small business, this isn't going to find those people, isn't going to help you communicate with your target market. So let's start here. Here are some examples. If you're starting out your company, you want to make the most basic mission statement as your starting point. So it says what the company does, but that's about it. Okay. So the first one is a furniture manufacturer. We build tables and chairs. Okay. We run a farm co-op store for a farm co-op. And then someone who refills ink cartridges and sells them to small businesses locally, we sell printer ink. Doesn't really tell you much about it, kind of like the lawn mowing business that I spoke about a few minutes ago. But it gives you a basis to start thinking about what it is that your company does. The next thing we want to do is answer the who, what, and why of your business. And the way that I have most folks start this out is trying to figure out what makes your company special. How does it uniquely benefit your customers? If we didn't have that, the most honest and basic mission statement for a lot of folks would be to make the owner as much money as possible. But obviously that isn't the real reason for having the business there. We want to create a list of descriptive words, making sure that we understand what the problems are that the company's solving. There's a lot of different things to think about. What your company does, it isn't as basic as you may think it is originally, and it may be more dynamic in the problem that it solves. So if we're going back to the furniture manufacturer, let's say if the chairs are made out of sustainable materials, that's only going to be a benefit to people who find value in that. If folks don't care what their furniture is made out of, then them telling folks that their chairs and tables are made from sustainable materials, that's not going to add any value to those individuals, okay? If it resonates with who they are and what they believe, that statement can convey important information to the target psychographic. Now, I use that word specifically because there's a difference between demographics, and that has things, those are elements like age, income, zip code, those are your demographics. Psychographics are more of those people's opinions, interest, lifestyle, attitudes. So if people have an opinion that furniture made from sustainable materials is important, then they're going to gravitate more towards your company. So the first round of this exercise is for the owner. And you may say, well, what if I've already got a business and I've got a team and I want to bring them in, and you can do that. But before you do that, you need to think about this. What if the mission statement that the team comes up with isn't what you as an owner see as the real reason for the business? You're going to run into some issues there and you may alienate some folks. So that's why I say, as an owner, first time through this, do it by yourself to get that basic mission statement set down so that you can bring that back to the team if you've got a team of folks working for you, and they can help massage that, but it's going to get you going at least in the right direction. My first experience with mission statements, I was a new engineer and we were brought together as a team to create our mission statement. We spent a day in a conference room going through these exercises. We were excited about it. We could define what it was that our team was going to do. And we put this mission statement together. Well, at the end of the day, some folks printed it out and posted it on their cube wall. Some folks weren't that interested in it. But by the end of a month, that mission statement wasn't being talked about or thought about anymore because you had parts of the team that weren't bought in. They didn't really agree with what the mission was of that team. And so it pretty much went unused after that. If you as the owner come up with it and have that as a first step before you start to try and massage it with your team, you're going to, and especially if you're a new owner and you don't have a team, that is something that people are going to gravitate towards as employees, as vendors, and as customers. So you want to take words and phrases that answer those who, what, why questions. You want to record those ongoing ideas, the stream of consciousness, that sort of thing. If you want to have an audio recorder, most phones have audio recorders built into them. So you could just sit there and start talking about your company, let it record it, and then go back and pick out the words and phrases and things like that you think best describe what it is you want your business to do. And then once you capture those ideas, maybe you want to think about creating stories that you want to hear you would want you to hear your customers telling their families and friends about the product, and write all that stuff down, get it all down in one place. Once you have it down, that's when you start constructing it. You take your notes and start to group them, the words, the phrases, those sorts of things, like product, customer, process, anything like that, things that seem to make them naturally come together. And then from each group, what you're going to do is pick a word or phrase that best seems to convey that part of the business idea that you're working on. Once you do that, you can start to build your mission statement from those elements. So let's go back to the furniture manufacturer, right? They may collect these words or phrases when they're thinking about what it is that they want to do. They want their furniture to be durable. They want it to be long lasting. They want it to have a great deal of craftsmanship that goes into it. They want it to be organic. They want it to be contemporary. So as they're thinking through what it is about their furniture that they think is special or unique, they're going to be writing down those words or those phrases. Once they have those words and phrases collected, they're going to group them into categories, okay? So when they take durable, long-lasting, well-built craftsmanship, those words talk to the construction of their pieces. No plastic, natural, recycled, organic, well, that talks to materials that they're going to use to construct it. Not old-fashioned, contemporary, and sleek, well, that's style. That is the particular style of it. Now that they have this captured, they know how the furniture is constructed, the type of materials, and the style of the furniture that they're going to build. So after they get that done, you're going to take a look at each element and create a phrase that represents that element. Now, sometimes in that list, you're going to find a phrase that represents the whole. And in some cases, a new phrase is going to pop to mind, and it's going to be a better choice for you. So when we talk about construction, we talk about all those individual words. The first thing that may come to the owner's mind is high quality. They can describe the customer that the construction of the furniture is high quality. When they look at the material list, it will be from sustainable sources. All of these things, by their definition, is sustainable. So that's something that they want to have in their mission statement. When they consider the style of the pieces, they want them to be of modern design. So all of the phrases and words that they brought together, that's what it says to them. Sometimes, something that probably occurred to you is how are they defining high quality, sustainable, and modern? And that's going to be, in some cases, a personal choice where there isn't an absolute definition of what those terms mean. They're going to be able to think back about how they came up with those phrases, and that is going to help them define what is high quality, sustainable, and modern. Some people will agree with that and some will not. If the definitions match the customer's perception, company's products or service will resonate with them. And if it doesn't match, then the products or services are probably not for that particular customer. This will help better attract individuals who find the company's products and services more valuable when they read that mission statement and see what it is that they do. Okay, so from here, you start to combine the descriptive phrases in a way that best describes your organization. So if they expound on this, construction is high quality furniture. The material is from sustainable materials, and the style is a modern design. So here's one way a furniture manufacturer with these qualities and target market may want to construct their mission statement. Create high quality furniture from sustainable materials for individuals seeking modern design. So when you see that on their website, you know right away if they offer furniture that may interest you. If you're looking for more classical furniture, these folks aren't for you. If you don't care about sustainable materials, then you may look at that and go, wow, that sounds like it's going to be expensive, so I'm going to go somewhere else. So, another example is going back to the lawn care company. If you just want your grass cut so the HOA isn't fining you, you may not care about a park-like setting. You just want it fast and cheap. In both cases, your potential customers, investors, or employees have a fairly clear idea about your company once you've crafted your mission statement. So going back to these folks here that do the furniture manufacturing, do they make disposable furniture? No. So if they're in a team meeting and they're thinking about making something quick and cheap, they're going to be able to look back to their mission statement and say, no, that's not us. Did they make it from plastic or old growth redwood? Well, neither one of those are sustainable. Mass-produced commercial desks? No, they're not going to do that. Any Victorian era beds that you're going to be able to find on their website? No, probably not. That's not a modern design. Looking at our co-op, our co-op store, their mission statement as they created it was to support a healthy diet in our community's members by providing locally produced food from an organic environment. You know, they may have a nutritionist on staff, or at least a consult one, when they're talking about a healthy diet. You're not going to find fresh pineapples if this is a co-op store found here in Southwest Missouri, because there's not a lot of fresh co-ops, a lot of fresh pineapple farms in the area. When they say it's locally produced, you may get the question, what does that mean? And as the owner, you should be able to say, well, we bring in everything from within 100 miles, 150 miles. You can define what local is, but you need to be able to answer that question. And then everything is going to be organically produced, right? You're not going to find a lot of Twinkies on the shelves in this. It's all going to be organically produced products. Okay. Going on to the ink supply folks, supply small business with low cost printer ink on a reliable schedule. They're not going to have contracts with big companies because they're focusing on small business. The cost of the product, you can expect that to be below average, maybe as high as average, but it's going to be low cost. That's what they've told you. They may either ship or deliver the product on a regular schedule. And what they may do is tell you to call them for the first 6 months when you need it, and they figure out how much ink you use on a regular basis. And then after that, they may just drop it off once a month, once a week at your business, depending on how often you need it. So how much more do we know about these businesses now that we've seen their mission statements, right? We started out with a furniture manufacturer that says we make table and chairs. Well, now we know a lot more about what it is that they do just because of their mission statement. And chances are you're far more likely or far less likely to be interested in them than when you saw this more basic mission statement. If I have a business owner, and I've had this happen, have business owners that have told me, you know, this is what my company does. And they give me this very basic mission statement. And then honestly, 6 weeks later, I see them and start talking more in depth, or I'll see them do a presentation at like 1 million cups, for instance, and they go into what their company does. And I'm just floored at what value they have to offer customers. But as a potential customer, hearing what they do, you know, it sounded pretty flat. But then after knowing more about what they do, if they'd had a mission statement that they opened their conversation with to answer that question, what do you do? It would have been a far more interesting conversation. Okay, so now we've got our mission statement written and the exercise is over, right? That's all you got to do and you're ready to go. Well, not quite. Most people think that this is what the path should be once they go through this exercise. They're going to start, they're going to go through that whole process that I just outlined, and the perfect mission statement is going to pop out the end of that. But what usually happens is it's far more convoluted and iterative. Okay, so you start and you write the best one that you can. After you're done with writing that first one, try it out on colleagues, mentors, friends, peers, potential customers, get their feedback, and then go back and try again. You may find some new ideas, some new phrases that you need to integrate into it. Maybe it's too long, maybe it's too short. But get that feedback from folks as you're talking to them about your business. Something that I find that's really interesting is some people, as they're going through this process and they're thinking about new ways to craft it, they come upon new products or services. And occasionally just going through this process for a new business owner does reveal a better product or service that they hadn't initially thought of. And now they can do a pivot with their business and offer a product or service that potentially their target customer would be far more interested in. Okay, things to keep in mind during this process is you want to focus on descriptive, words. You want them to be focused. You want it to be a guide for what it is that your company does. That's what you want to keep in mind. You want to stay away from bad words, buzzwords, cliches, overly broad statements like those large corporations use. You want to keep it very focused and very concise to that niche market that you're going after. And then lastly, the best mission statement in the world is useless if it's created and it's not used, or if you just write it and put it in a drawer and keep it to yourself. Okay, so now you've got your mission statement. You've gone through a few iterations of it. You think you've got it about as good as you can get it. So what are you going to do with this thing? You spent all this time, all this energy on it. How do you use it? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put it on your desk, either a plaque or a poster or a sticky note. I have virtual sticky notes on my computer, and I think it's pretty common on just about any PC that you have or iOS device. On your monitor, you can put a virtual sticky note and have it right there. As you're going through those first iterations of it, that is a great way to have it right there on your screen all the time. And you can look over, you can read it, and you can think, maybe I could change this word, or maybe I need to change that. And you can update it as you're thinking about it, but it keeps you right there and it keeps it focused for you on what you're doing to offer products or services to your particular customers. The other thing is that once it is created and you do have it on your desk, it's going to help remind you what it is that your business does. And I know that may sound odd, but I do run into business owners that start talking about going off on tangents away from their main business. And it does help dilute their energies. And so their customers that they've been nurturing and cultivating for an extended period of time, they start to get less service, less value out of the products because the owner's taking their eye off the ball. So this is the first and foremost place that you want to put your mission statement, is somewhere where you're going to see it every day. The other place you want it is in the hallways, in the meeting rooms, the production facilities, your break room. If you've got a building where you've got employees, you've gotten customers that are coming in, you want to have your mission statement out there. You want to remind your employees, this is what we're here for. And this is what we're focusing on for our customers, and have that front and center for them. And then if you have customers coming in, they see your mission statement too. So they know what it is that your company stands for. You're going to use it in meetings. So obviously, if you've got a meeting room, you're going to have it there. It's going to help you with finding ideas, problems in your business. It's going to show opportunities. If you can get a lot of various ideas that may not fit with the mission statement if you don't have one stated. So for instance, in this graphic, you can see the person that's standing up talking has their idea of what the company's mission is. And their idea is that they should be building 2-story condominium townhouses, right? No one else thinks that same thing. They've got completely different ideas of what the product is that they should be building for their customers. If they had in their mission statement something about building 2-story townhouses, then everyone would, at least for this, product, be on the same page, and they would all be thinking about the kind of product that they're producing for their customers. Okay. It helps focus the business plan of a startup. So when you're doing your business plan, having your mission statement there will help bring you back to what it is you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for. And it can also be used if you're launching a new product or service. But it's not just limited to the initial business plan. When you're doing your annual planning or setting your vision for your business, that mission statement is going to help keep you focused on what that plan is going to be. Okay. If you're discussing new product offerings, that mission statement is going to help see, does that fit within the scope of what we do or what we want to do? Does it help benefit our customers? Give you an example. If a company that makes inflatable swimming pools, okay? So at the end of May, 1st of June, they start getting a bunch of orders. Their production employees come in, they've got to hire a bunch of people, and they ramp up the production because they're getting all of these orders for inflatable swimming pools. The employees are working 10, 12 hours a day, maybe they're going to 24-hour, shift work, that sort of thing. And then around September, the orders start dropping off and the employees start getting laid off and they have to go find something else to do. So if the business leadership gets together, they might say, well, how do we keep our employees busy all year round? And maybe one of the ideas is they build snowmobiles. Well, if their mission statement is specifically on providing the kind of inflatable swimming pools that their niche market demands, building snowmobiles doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe what they need to do is put their business plan together for the next year to build small quantities of pools all year long with a smaller team than what they have to bring in during the summer to try and ramp up and make production. So in that case, focusing on their mission of building high quality inflatable swimming pools would lead them more to producing small quantities of pools over the entire year, rather than this huge bolus of pools that they're going to build just during the summer when there's huge orders for it. You can use it for filtering potential or current employees. Okay, you'd include your mission statement in job postings, recruiting material, and like-minded individuals are going to be attracted more to companies that share their values. If you state that you have a certain kind of customer that you're going after, and there's someone that wants to really work with those kinds of people, that may attract them pretty quickly to your organization when they're looking at job openings. During the interview, you want to listen for phrases and terms that are in support of your mission statement. So see how the candidate responds when you say, this is who we are, and you lay out your mission statement. What kind of response do you get from them? Employees with whom that mission statement resonates are going to be more engaged, and they're going to contribute more than folks that whose values don't resonate with that particular mission statement. Of course, the caveat of that is they want to see engagement and commitment from the leadership around that mission statement. So you can't just create it and then put it in front of them. You've got to be living that mission statement also. Finally, you want to let the public know about your mission statement. Probably don't want to have it stated explicitly in every piece of advertising or marketing material that's out there. You should have it on your website and on your social media pages, so that's right there, so folks can quickly gauge what it is that you do and what you stand for as a business. And like I said before, it's going to attract customers, employees that have the most interest around products and services that you're describing there. Okay, so creating a well-crafted mission statement will help define your business. It's going to help guide your decisions, and it's going to help connect with people who value your products and services more. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Charlie and see if we've got any questions.
Well, it looks like we have quite a few questions. The first question is, how might we receive quality, unbiased feedback on a mission statement that we come up with other than a SCORE mentor?
Okay, ask me that again.
They want to know how to receive quality, unbiased feedback on a mission statement other than a SCORE mentor.
Yeah, so I would put that out in front of other business owners. If you go, for instance, to a networking event, I would just put it out there and say, I'm working on a mission statement, or even just put it out there and say, what do you think about that? Does that tell you what my company does? Other than your SCORE mentor, you should have other folks on your team, your banker, your CPA, your insurance agent, other people that you've got around that initial startup of your business, and put that in front of them. If it's part of your business plan, you're probably going to be sharing that with those individuals anyway, and ask them what they think of it. The other thing is family and friends. You can put it in front of them. Obviously, they're going to be a little bit biased, but they may be willing to give you some very candid feedback about it. And then potential customers, if you're out there talking to folks that could be potential customers, put that out there in front of them and let them hear it and just see what kind of reaction you get from them.
The next question is, could we trademark our mission statements if we feel we have a fantastic one? Do you think we'd have much luck trying to get one of those federally trademarked?
That is an excellent question. So I'm going to give you this response first, is I would talk to a trademark attorney to see what they think. But in some cases, I guess it would be possible that if you have a mission statement that is very unique to your particular company, it may be worth pursuing that.
Where do the core values of the business owner or that of the established company culture fall into this mission statement forming process?
Yeah, so that is something that when I was talking about the words and phrases, that's all part of that. If you have your company's core values listed out and written down, you can pull on that as ideas for this. And some of those core values are something that you're going to want to have in there. And some of them probably may not describe well what it is that your company does. Like everyone wants to have an open and a workplace where the employees feel valued and things like that. Every company is going to want that. So is that something you want to put in your mission statement? I don't know. Maybe if that is such a huge part of your company culture, maybe you do want to have it in there. But if your core values are something that you would expect from most employers in that space, then maybe you don't put that in your mission statement. But once your core values are something that's going to help contribute to that list of words and phrases that you're going to use to build that statement.
The next question says, I'm not clear. Could you clarify or give examples of what you meant by the mission statement will show problems and opportunities in the business?
Okay, so if you've got your mission statement up there and you're in a meeting and you're talking about something that's going on real time, a particular issue that's happening, there's times when referring back to your mission statement and asking, is this something that we should be addressing? Is this something that we should be good at, or does it not fit with what we want to do as a company? In those cases, by referring back to, okay, folks, this is what our mission is. This is what we do. Does this have anything to do with our mission as a business? And if the answer is yes, then it helps you identify that as an opportunity. If it isn't, then maybe you let that opportunity go by. The example that I used in the presentation is if you make premium ice cream. Well, if there's an opportunity, if you see this big demographic of folks that like frozen yogurt, is that something you want to get into? If your company is focused on premium ice cream, frozen yogurt is probably not something you want to get into. It's a whole new process. It's a whole new recipe, probably takes a whole different kind of equipment mix to be able to make that product. The folks that want premium ice cream may even be a completely separate psychographic group than folks that want frozen yogurt. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about a mission statement. If it's clear about what it is that you're focusing on, as opportunities or problems come up, you may be able to run it through that mission statement and say, that really isn't what we do.
Okay, a couple more questions. If we have a personal mission statement, do you almost always see that it mirrors the business mission statement? That's the problem I have, and it feels less original because I am a consultant and the business is an expression of my values. So
your personal mission statement and your business's mission statement do not have to be the same. But more than likely, if you have passion around your business, then it's probably something that resonates with you personally, and it's going to be fairly close to your personal mission statement. I think it'd be very difficult for an individual who has taken the time to think through who they are as a person and have created a personal mission statement for them to engage in a business that is contrary to that or completely divorced from it. If that's not where their passion is for them personally, it's tough to get them excited about it. You know, sometimes it does if it's not something that comes into direct conflict with your personal values and beliefs, that you can go and do that. But most of the time, if you're very passionate about something and you have found a product or service that people need, then that personal mission statement can very closely parallel your business mission statement.
Last question. How often can we change our mission statement? If we expand our offerings and continue refining the commitments we're making with quick evolutions, the mission statement may feel like it needs a change. What do you recommend along these lines?
Yeah, so in those, you know, it sounds like you're talking about a business that is just launched or is in process of launching. In those cases, yeah, your mission statement may change. And if it's before you've got a large team, it's going to be a lot easier to do than after you have a large team that you're working with. And that's part of that iteration process that I was talking about. You want to get that out there and start talking to folks, because if you're focused on one product and you start talking to different people about your mission statement, and this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, you may stumble across a new product or service that is even better than what you originally thought of. And that would give you the opportunity to pivot your business and recraft your mission statement to do that. But as your company evolves, you may see where you need to update your mission statement to better define who it is that you are. Like I said, it's not something that you should just do once and then put it in a drawer. You want to have it out there in front of your team, in front of your customers, in front of investors, so that they know what it is that your company does. And if you get to the point where you have to make a decision, this new product that you want to offer doesn't fit with your mission, do you forego that opportunity, or do you change the mission of the company and include that, or pivot completely away from your current offerings to that new opportunity? And that's something that you as the owner primarily have to decide. And if you've got a solid team with you, you can lean on them a little bit to help with that determination. But yeah, as your company evolves, I can see where you would need to change your mission statement, especially during the first few months, years that you're in business and your business is evolving.
All right, we got a couple more questions come in. You got time, David?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Would you conduct a market analysis of competitors' mission statements to influence the one we form, or is it best not to look to stay original?
You know, after I think the first run through, I would do it without looking at my competitors. You want it to be as original as possible. Once you get it to the point where you think it's as solid as you can get it, looking at other competitors to see, do you have a mission statement that is very similar? And if so, then I would expect that you're offering a very similar product, a very similar service, targeting a very similar customer demographic and psychographic. And in that case, you need to decide, how are you going to compete with them? How are you going to differentiate your business from theirs so customers see clearly more value in what you have to offer over your competitor? And in that case, you may need to update your mission statement, as the previous questioner had.
Could you talk about how vision statements follow our mission statement, what relationships they have with one another, and the process to forming a vision statement?
Yeah, so vision statements are, and I see folks confuse the two a lot, and some people say they're mission and vision. So a mission statement we've talked about. I hope at this point you have a very solid idea of what a mission statement is. A vision statement is a statement of where you want your company to be in 3 to 5 years, typically. It is something that is measurable, that has a timeline on it, so that you can say, for instance, in 3 years, we want our company to be producing $2.5 million in top line revenue. That is a vision statement. It's measurable. It has a timeline on it. That's where you want your company to be. And it doesn't have to be, revenue based. It may be, we want to serve 10,000 needy clients in 3 years. We want to have delivered that many, that benefit to 10,000 clients. And you can measure that. You can see at the end of year 3, have we been able to provide services to 10,000 needy clients? And if you had, then you've reached your vision. Your vision is basically, what do you see as success? 3 years from now, if you've hit this mark, whatever it is, that's what success to you right now today looks like. And that's how you set your vision statement versus your mission statement, which is, this is how we do things. This is what we do. This is why we do it. A vision statement is, this is where we want to be at this time.
Is it standard practice to put mission statements atop a business plan we'd give to the bank, for example?
Yeah, you're typically going to want to have your mission statement and your vision statement somewhere in your business plan. Where that falls in there, I would probably put it near the front, just, so that as people are going through the business plan, they get a very quick sense of what your company does. So yeah, I would have that near the top of the deck in a business plan.
And also going back to the how often is too often to change a mission statement, they're concerned about coming off as a chameleon. Is there a rule of thumb? How many times?
Yep. So when it's just you and your business and you're sitting there thinking about it, you can change it as often as you want. Once you start to attract customers, you can make tweaks to it, that sort of thing. But if you're at the point where you've got 10, 20 employees, you don't want to come out with a new mission statement every week, right? Because people are not going to know what you're committed to or what this company is really about. Making small tweaks. And like I said, if you get to a point where you found a new product, a new avenue, and you want to include that, after you've been established for some time, it may make sense to revamp your mission statement. But your gut's going to tell you, if you're, and your employees and your team is going to tell you, we just went through this mission statement stuff 3 months ago. Why are we going through this again? I thought we had it figured out. You can do that gut check and figure that and figure out if you're doing it too often. But as your company gets established, I think you're going to find yourself going down a path. You may make some small tweaks to it, but once that focus is set and you're starting to engage with those customers, I think you're going to find that it's pretty well solidified until you find a new business opportunity. And then, like I said, you've got to make that decision.
All right, David, I think that's the end of the questions for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For your presentation today.